All right, let's make another cut. So here's two of the 4/4 boards for her fence. They're still 18 feet long right now, but I'm going to cut them off at like 10'6", just so she has a little bit to square up the ends. I'm going to try a different view this time, just so you can see how, maybe you can see better the speed. And now, as some of you know, I got a couple cuts on the chain already. Yeah, let's do it up here. So yeah, it's gonna be nice to get all this crap out of the way, and I get a little bit of time here. So I'll start you down here. You kind of be able to maybe see the speed a little better. And then when I set my after I move my oil can and set my wedges, and I get up here to the next oil can stop, if I remember, I'll twist you around to the front. So let's just start here. I had to cut up the big flitch. I'll show you. So I had to cut this flitch up, and I saved some of it for a bench out back, about 10 feet of it, and I cut the rest up for kindling, as it was in the way on the far side over there of the mill. So the saw's been sitting for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So let's see what happens now. Set up, sorry. Yeah, it's a pretty good view, I think. Try that. See how she starts. And I'm just doing this on start, not fast idle. might have hit something. See in a second here. Yeah, I don't see anything. Felt like I hit something right in here somewhere. No, I don't see anything. So let's take a look here. You look at the finish again. So I'm just, the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm showing you what can happen if you fire the chain right. If you want to fire the chain right, you can watch some of my videos or just watch everybody's videos and learn. This is the finish I'm getting. This is after the third cut. Like I said before, it's actually starting to wear the burr off now, so I'm not getting the scallops going through the knots anymore because the burr's wearing off the chain. It's still cutting really nice and smooth. I assume it shows up in the video. I'm not sure, but I can't tell you how smooth the cut is. It's almost effortless. I mean, I can push on it as hard as I want. I can take my pressure completely off it. I like to keep the RPMs up a little bit because it helps the saw run cool. So when you're milling, if you're bogging your saw way down, like down below 9,000, and it's kind of struggling, it's running really hot like that. The more you can keep your RPMs up and even above 9,000, because really your power band in your saw, at least in these 660s, but in almost any big saw, is up around 9,000, 9,500, 9,800. Right in that range is where it makes its most power. And the faster your RPMs are running, the more you're pumping air through the saw, and the cooler it's keeping it. If you got to really push on it, you know, really work on your chains, guys, because I realize that this is just spruce. All right, you can see from just in my little pile right here, this is all white oak. That's white oak. I got a piece of hard sugar maple right behind over there, big log that I got to do. This is all construction lumber from my shed out here, which is why it's all softwood. The majority of the milling that I do, is hardwood, you know, for customers. Customers aren't going to pay me what I get paid to come out and mill pine. I have had some customers have me mill pine, but most of what I do, and if you look at my channel, you know, most of it's hardwood. I could tell you that even on that big cherry project that I did recently, which you can look back, I think there's probably 8 or 10 videos. I know there's at least 6 on the big log. You can see how it goes through. I mean, I'm milling cherry and it's, you know, it just goes right through it. You can see the milling that I did on the Norway maple in the backyard if you want, the big Norway maple, you know, maxing out a 48 mil. You know, it just goes right through it because I know how to sharpen. I mean, I sharpen professionally for customers, and if you're having a hard time doing this, these are 18-foot cuts and I'm using half a tank of fuel. You know, I see guys that can't get through a 10-foot cut without having a fuel up. I mean, I can do 12-foot with a 56-inch bar on a tank of fuel, you know, maxing out a 48-inch mill all the way to the end on hardwood. So I don't know, it's got to be chain related. So you can see, you know, these are the noodles it's pulling when it goes through the knots. You can see the grainy dust that it pulls when it's in the clean wood. You know, you can see what it's pulling here. I'm not making this stuff up. You can see the finish on this board. You know, this isn't because I've got magical equipment. You know, these saws are built by me. I'm not running down to my steel dealer and buying them. These are 660s built by me, and I've got 5 of them. And I could flip a coin right now and pull any one of the 5 of them out and do exactly what I'm doing right here. So, you know, work on your sharpening, because that's where it is. This is going easy and it's fun because I know how to sharpen. And if it's boring and miserable and hard work for you, it's because you don't. So I'm going to kill this video and probably make another one here in a minute when I do the next one. Might as well make a bunch because I haven't put up any all week because I've been working off site doing some other stuff. So we're actually doing a bamboo fence. I don't know if you can see across the street from my house, but across the street from my house is a restaurant stuck over there behind that maple tree. And because of Corona, they're putting in an outside deck, and one of the customers I work for is doing an outside cool, not a deck, a patio, real cool with stones and bamboo fence, and they're putting the bamboo fence in right now. That, I don't know if you see his head. His head will pop up in a minute, but that's Riley and oh God, I can't remember. My old mind. They're over there working on the bamboo fence that I put up the rails for yesterday. It's gonna be a cool outside space so that these guys can get back operating again. Riley and Anthony, sorry. And you can't see their heads right now. They must be down on the ground figuring something out. Oh, there they are. But that's the Epic Oyster in North Falmouth, if anybody wants to look it up. It's just across the street from my house. So yeah, I'm gonna get that board dragged out of the way and fuel up and oil up and do another one here. It's nice. The consistency on this width is gonna help my customer out because I didn't want to do 20 feet of inch thick boards for what she wanted to pay for it. I told her I'd give her a couple $100 worth because that's what she wanted to spend, and it looks like for a couple $100 I can probably do the 20 feet. So you know, this tree to mill the rest of this log out is going to take me less than an hour's worth of work, minus my talking. And at 20 inches wide, I'm going to get more than 10 feet of lumber out of this. So I'll have to open up one more log, and I'm thinking that one that my picaroon stuck in on the top right there is almost useless. And this one's almost useless too. They got too many knots to really make good beams out of, which is all these spruce logs are good for me for. So these inch thick, I'm going to end up with almost 8 feet of leftover on these that are no good to her because she needs 10 foot long. And since they're only inch thick, I'll probably make beehives out of them. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to put it back on the charger, fuel up, and cut another one.